Good morning, architectural drafting class. Today is the sub day, so you'll be watching this as I go. I'm going to get you started on Revit and getting your initial apartment walls built and constructed, so we can kind of get the floor plan here and learn a little bit of how to use a Revit. So to start out with, now that you have your Revit files open, we're going to go to a new project. So we're going to create a new project. The template file opens up. We're going to switch to an architectural template. It's going to be a new project, so make sure that the project button is pressed and click OK. This will open up and get us started to where we can go through with the drawing panel. Now remember all of the areas here in Revit. So we do have the quick access toolbar up top. We got the different ribbons. You got your tab ribbon, your panels ribbon, and then your tools that are in each of those panels. Remember, we can kind of switch from one tab to another. Anytime you see an arrow underneath it, that means that there are multiple items in there. So just click that arrow to open up and see what are all the different tools that are inside that panel. Now, don't forget, you got your properties menu down here, and we also have the project browser. So everything today we're going to be doing is going to be in the floor plans level 1 of the project browser. Do me a favor, don't start going and clicking and exploring and doing all sorts of things. You might get yourself lost, and nobody's there to help you kind of find your way back there around. So just kind of follow step by step with me as I go through this. You can watch the video, you can stop it, you can back it up and rewatch, so on and so forth as you go, to help you start out learning how to draw a floor plan in Revit. So I'll be back next week into class, and we'll be able to work more on it and answer some questions that you have. Until then, you can kind of get this done, and I do want you to save your project and email it to me, or share it with me. Basically, you can submit it through Google Classroom at the end of the class, so I can see what you got done today. So here is the first thing that we want to start. Come to your properties window here. We're on our floor plan, and notice in the graphics it mentions to view scale. So we want to go ahead, it's a 1/8 inch equals 1 foot scale right now. We want to change that to a more common, what we're going to be using is the 1/4 inch equals 1 foot scale. So go ahead and change that. That arrow drops it down. You can move on through till you get 1/4 inch equals 1 foot. Hit the apply button. So that puts it through, and everything we're going to be drawing now is going to be on that scale. So the first thing we want to do is set our outside walls, and we made those outside walls when we were working last time. We determined that we wanted to maximize and get 450 square feet in our actual apartment. So, and we determined that the best way to do that would to be make our rooms 18 feet, or our total wall footage on the outside walls of an apartment at 18 feet by 25 feet. So that's what I'm going to place in here. And I'm going to place the 25 feet horizontally, so to say, going this way, and the 18 feet going this way. So let's go ahead up here. The first thing we want to do is place the wall. Now, when you hit that button, you'll notice there are two types of walls, an architectural wall and a structural wall. Structural walls are load bearing. So we'll talk more about that as we go into it. But right now, we just want to place this as a architectural wall. So just go ahead and click that. And you can come in here now, and any place in the center, notice my crosshairs there. I can move it. You'll see I'm moving all around. I want to place this. Now remember, I talked about how these 4 points, and we can say north, south, east, west. Those are basically kind of act like cameras. So we want to get our building inside of those cameras so that when we do go to different elevations or do our 3D view, the cameras will pick up our building and be able to see it. So I'm going to click right here. Now notice I'm now getting feet and inches so that I can link this. Now remember I said 25 feet. So I can either toggle over here to where I get the 25 feet exactly. Now you'll notice sometimes trying to get that exactly because it's in 6-inch increments. So trying to get that exactly can kind of be a little tedious. So I find it easier. Revit allows you just to enter in, so I'll just go ahead and enter 25 feet and click the enter, or you can go 25 feet and left click. Either way works. So now we're going to come back up here and I'm going to go 18 feet again. So if you want to, you can set this, moving it to 18 feet. Get there. When you're at 18 feet, left click to place the wall. Come back over here, 25 feet, left click to place the wall. Go down and have that endpoint connect with your other wall. Now, there I've closed it off and I've got the basic rectangular shape of my apartment complex. So we have to sit here and think for a few minutes then about how we shape that, and now those kind of represent the outside walls of our apartment. So if I go to click on anything here, I'm still in the drawing tool for placing walls, and I want to get out of that for a minute, so I'm just going to hit my escape button. Notice I'm still there, so hit your escape button again. This is what I was saying, sometimes you gotta do the double escape to get out of that particular tool. And I'm gonna go back, and I'm still on my floor plan here, but right now I want you to just take this wall and click on that wall. Notice that changes here, and you see the basic wall generic 8 inches. Click that arrow next to it. We're going to go ahead, these are outside or exterior walls, so I'm going to change that to a outside, an exterior brick on metal stud. So there's that. So let's go ahead and click on the other walls here. So we're going to say, you know, maybe this is like an inside apartment. Maybe this is an apartment unit where you got a whole apartment building and there's multiples. So we need to change these two walls here as well. So I'm going to go click on that one. If I hit the shift key and click on the other one, I can kind of have both. So, well, not really. It doesn't like that. So let's hit the control button. The control button to hold down. Now I got both of those walls there. So let's go ahead and switch these. We're going to have these be, we'll say generic brick, just so that you can kind of see. And that's a 4-inch brick on that. Kind of changes that. Now let's go ahead and click this one. Just to give you an idea here, now we're going to say that this is an interior wall, and we can set that at a 5-inch partition. Now we're not going to keep these this way. I just want to kind of show you this. Go up to the View tab, and we're going to go 3D View right now. So just click on 3D View. Notice here your view cube pops up. So you got your home. At this point we can kind of rotate this around and see there's my brick wall. Here's my exterior wall. Doesn't really look much different from the other one. So the other brick wall there. Go back to the isometric view so you can see some of the thickness. At this point, just go ahead and click on this wall. Let's change that So let's go so you can see some differences here. Let's change that to a 12-inch masonry. So go ahead and click back out, and you can see how that change applies and goes through everything there. Now, one more thing. So remember, this would be our exterior wall facing out. We've got these two interior walls between apartments, and this would be the interior wall to break up our apartment. That would be, say, our doorway to go into it. I'm going to click on that wall for just a second. Now, come back over here into your properties window, and notice here where it says unconnected 20 feet. That's the actual wall height there. So we're going to change that wall height, and we're going to make that a more common 10-foot wall, and hit apply. So now you can see that default setting when we first started to create our walls was at 20 feet, and we certainly don't need that. Let me click on these two here, or we can click both of them by holding the control button down and get both of those in there. Again, the unconnected part here was at 20, so let's just go ahead and change that to 12. I'm changing that one to 12 and hit apply, just so you can see how we can change the different heights on this. So now, obviously, we're not going to build a room that has different height levels on all four of the walls that go around our apartment. So there's another way that we can go through and connect that. So if you just go back here, now we're going to click on all four of these walls. So go ahead and hold your control button down, click on all four of them. So move your cursor over so all four of those are toggled down. Notice here where it says top constraint unconnected. Let's click on that, and we're going to go and set that to up to level 2. Hit apply. That sets it. So there's another setting in here. We'll talk about this more, where we can actually set the levels for floor 1, level for floor 2, level for floor 3, and so on. And that way we can always make sure if we can do this two ways when we set our wall heights. We can either physically put them at a certain height dimension, or we can set them at level dimensions so that they're all the same. So we're going to leave that right there like that. Now I want you to go over, close out your view panel, and let's go back to the actual drawing here for our floor plan. We're going to do one more thing. Take and left click and highlight all of the walls. So as we're going to make all of those walls the same, this is an apartment building, most likely in college, so it's probably just going to be a standard masonry wall for fire codes and so forth. Just go with 6-inch masonry. We're going to change them all. Pretty boring. Hate to tell you that. That's what you get sometimes with college campus housing, although there's changes coming around. So but they do that. Of course, they make it brick in case a fire would break out. Obviously, fire takes less time to go through brick walls than it does through wood and plaster walls. So we got to use and build according to different fire codes and standards that are in a community that are set. So that is our outside of our apartment. I'm going to hit escape here, so twice, and go back to it. So now we're ready to start adding some interior walls, and we have to think about our original sketch that we have up on the board. You guys were saying as we were going through that you wanted bedrooms on both sides, kind of a hallway and a bathroom down here, and then your kitchen and living area up in this area. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to start to do those now. So go back up to your architectural tab, click on the architectural wall, and here we're going to go ahead and set this wall to an interior. We'll go with a interior 5-inch partition. So your basic wall is an interior 5-inch partition. We'll get ready to place that. Now, notice as soon as the cursor starts to hover over, I get some dimensions on here, so we can start to place it. And we're going to, of course, place our first wall that way as we go. So we got to stop to think. All right, if I want a bedroom, and kind of going down in here like this, and I'm just going to kind of put those on there. I also have a bedroom over here like this, and we'll set these dimensions later as we go, so I just am quickly sketching these out. But you put a hallway, and you said you wanted a hallway here going back to the bathroom. There are guidelines, and this is for on a college that we have to pass for ADA, which is the American Disabilities Act, and handicapped. So there are minimums that we can make that hallway. So those minimums are 3 foot's the minimum, but that's really, imagine if you're in a wheelchair, 3 feet's probably not a whole lot of room. So we're probably going to want about 42 inches or 3 feet 6 inches in that hallway to allow enough room for somebody who might be handicapped or in a wheelchair to get in and out. So as we think about that, we got to put that in, and we got to make sure that we have that space. So I want to get rid of those walls. I was just doing that to show you. So let's back up. Undo. So as we undo, oh, you probably just heard that. My cat just fell off of the table over there on the other side. That's all right. Poor Iris, she's a little bit klutzy. All right, so as you think about it, we were at 25 feet over here, and I'm telling you 3 feet 6 inches or 42 feet we should allow for the hallway. We might even say let's go ahead and allow 4 feet, which would leave 21 feet there for the 2 rooms. So this is where some of our basic math just comes in, trying to divide up and split up these numbers. So if you think if we want 3 feet 6 inches, so we got 25 feet minus 3 feet 6 inches will leave us 21 feet 6 inches. And then we could divide that up. So let's say one side of the room would be 10 feet, the other room would be 11 feet 6 inches. So I'm going to start here with my partition wall at 10 feet. We're going to draw it out now. Remember, we're 18 feet going this way, so you got to think about what would be a good dimension. Now, we're 10 feet. We'll go 10 foot. Let's go 10 foot by 9 foot for right now for this first room. So that's 10 foot by 9 foot. Now, our next wall here, notice if we place this partition wall, we're 4 feet there, 3 feet 6 inches. 3 feet would be the minimum because of ADA codes and local jurisdictional codes for the minimum width of a hall. So let's go ahead and make that 3 feet 6 inches. Click, and again you're left clicking. Let's make this room a little bigger. 10 feet 6 inches. 10 feet 6 inches. Now you guys told me you wanted both rooms to be the same so that no roommate felt like they were getting a better space in there. So we'll do that. So we'll keep them the same width here, and here you're at 11 feet 6 inches there with that. So this side does get an extra 6 inches. Probably not going to be noticed. So there as you go. Maybe you charge that roommate, I don't know, an extra $10 a month to have that extra 6 inches of wall space there. So there's kind of those rooms there, and you guys determined that you wanted an open plan here with your kitchen on the one side and like a living room area on the other side, but no real wall or anything in between there. So that's kind of the basic layout. Now we just need to go in and add the bathroom space. So not a problem. So we're going to come back in here now, and at some point, so we got to sit here and decide. Now we can use these walls that we made to determine what we want in terms of closet space. So now remember that we are 11 feet going this way, or 10 feet going that way. So you got to think about what's a good closet space, and that's going to take away some footage here from your room as well. So, and you got to have enough, if this is going to just be for one person and the closet doesn't have to be too big. Maybe we're saying we're going to have this be a 4-person apartment, so you need closet space for 2 people. So we'll think ahead and plan ahead. We'll plan closet space for 2 people. Now, I can go, usually 2 feet's a pretty deep closet. So we definitely don't want to go to 3 feet. If you want to be a little bit more generous with that, we can go 2 feet 6 inches. But for right now, I'm just going to go 2 feet from that wall. And think about how deep do you want that closet to be. So we got 3 foot, 4 foot. If it's a 2-person closet, 4 foot's not a lot of space. So let's go ahead and make that 4 foot on our closet space there. And we'll come across over here. So I'm going to exit out of that for right now. So I just right click and cancel. We're going to come and do the same thing on this side. So 2 foot by 4 foot. And right click and cancel. So, alright, now I can go ahead and connect these 2 closets. Yep, notice as I zoom in, I'm kind of putting it in the wrong space. So all you have to do is right click there and cancel. So you just heard my morning alarm go off. I've been up a little bit since then. So let's go ahead here, and we're going to put from here to there. See how it kind of does some funny things. So you got to watch where you pick up from. Let's cancel this out. So, all right. So, and place our wall there. Cancel. All right. So, you can kind of sit here and think to yourself, that really isn't a whole lot of space for a bathroom. And you're right, it's not. So, we can I'm going to hit escape. So, we kind of go back and now click on this wall by itself. Let's open this bathroom up. So, if I click on the wall, remember you have to hit escape first. I can kind of move this back here. So hit escape, click on this wall, grab this little circle and move it back. So there you go. So here's kind of our room, and now here's where we're doing the bathroom. Now think about this in terms of, at this point I can click on any of these. I got 4 feet from center of line to center of line, or 4 feet on center, which actually means I have less 4 feet than 4 feet in the interior. So I'm not so sure that that's going to be enough room there really for a bathroom. So I'm going to go over here now. This is where I can edit. I got 5 feet over here and I got 4 feet over here. I'm going to click on that 4 feet. I'm going to change this around, make that 5 feet, and just switch that. So that's good. So definitely gives me a little bit better positioning. So now, as I look at all of these, so I got these different dimensions in here, and we can leave it as such for right now, but I took away my closets. I needed that bigger space there for the bathroom. So not a problem. I just go back up here to the walls, we'll click on and we'll build another wall here. Again, we said that we wanted kind of some 3 foot. Maybe I'll start out over here. We want this to be 2 feet. And at this point, this might be one of those areas we could go ahead with 4 feet. And then you got like a little nook in here. So let me place this for now and I'll talk about this. We'll place this at 4 feet and I'll come over here like this at 2 feet to put my wall. So that gives me my closet there. But if you think about it, it's kind of odd looking to have this and then that cutout. What are you going to do with that? I don't know. Maybe you put a built-in bookshelf or something for students. I suppose you could do that. But I think probably a better thing is just to go ahead and extend that wall. So go ahead and toggle that. That's going to build another wall. So we don't want to do that. So let's cancel out. Hit escape. Let's get out of that. Click your wall here and let's move this down to where it's aligned with that. Hit escape to get out of the command. Click this wall. We're going to move this down same way. So kind of move that one to there. Move that one to there. And now notice the relationship that changed both of them for us. So that's good. That's what we want. And then we got the closet space here. All right. Escape out of that. Place another wall. Again, we're coming here at 2 feet. We're going to go to here and back over for our wall. So that's our closet. Good. Escape out of that. So, and now you see our exterior. Here's our bedroom 1. Here's our bedroom 2. Now, as I look at this, I'm looking at this wall, and I'm looking at this wall. They show and look like they're different lengths. So if I put this here, and notice we're 3 feet 6 inches there, 2 feet to there. I'm going to look at this wall 2 feet the other way. So I want to see what the actual dimensions are, because this definitely looks a little shorter to me than this. So to do that, up on my quick access bar, I've got measure between 2 references. So I'm going to click measure between 2 references. I'm going to measure from here to there. That's 10 feet. Now I'm going to measure from here to there. That's 11 feet 6 inches. So I definitely got an extra 1.5 feet in space on that wall. So you're going to give roommates a little bit more on that. That's all right. We'll leave it at that for now. We can come back in and make some changes to it later. So, but right now we want to add some other elements. So we want to put some doors in here. So let's go ahead and click on the door. Now notice that opens the properties up. And again, we've got our choices of door dimensions. Now, again, with the ADA codes, we got to be a minimum here of 32 inches. So 30 inches would be okay for most residential homes, but because this is an apartment and we could have residents that might be impacted by the American Disabilities Act, we got to make sure that we build for code in that regard. So, and actually I'm gonna use a 34 by 80. Notice there's single flush doors, so we're gonna go with a 34 by 80 inches. 80 is the height of that door, and we can just kind of go in and put these here. Now notice you don't have a lot of room now, so for that on either way as we go here, and notice we can place them how you want and do. So I'm going to place the one here and the one here. Okay. So now they got to be open to the inside, and here our bathroom is going to open to the outside. So now if you are like me and have a little bit of a demented sense of humor, you may already notice that because of our tight space in here, I could potentially, if I was one of those type of roommates, I could kind of hold the bathroom door open here to prevent a roommate from exiting their room, you know, just as a practical joke. Not that any of you would do that, but this door arrangement might not be the best scenario here, but we're going to escape that. Let's go ahead and, again, I hit escape once, but I'm still in that tool, so hit escape twice to get out of it. I'm going to click on this door, and we're going to delete that because we don't want to give college students any potential way to possibly mess with their fellow roommates. So now I can go ahead and place another door, same door, but maybe we're going to place it somewhere along here, so or over here, depending. So we'll place it right here instead. There we go. So that's where our door is going to go. Again, it's open and out, so we've got entrance going this way or entrance going that way. So, all right, and that pretty much we got. Well, we do have some doors here now. We will come back in and change these around. So, but just so you see, at this point, we'll make this a 30 by 80. Let's place your door here and a door here, okay, for your closet. Hit escape. So that gives you some doors, and we'll change that door style because certainly we wouldn't use this type of a door in this room. So we'll go in and I'll show you up here where it says load families. We can go in. If you click on that, notice we got doors. So we're gonna go ahead here, and we want some commercial doors here. These are all different. If you click on these are different types of doors that you might see. So let's back up. Just click on some of these. Here's curtain wall, double glass, storefront. You got different one single flush panel, common for doors and hallways and so forth. Let's go into residential here. We got exterior doors, garage doors, interior full glass. I'm just looking right now. Double pocket 2-panel wood, siding wood. So we would probably put, thinking about it, actually I'm not liking too many of these right now, but a 2-panel sliding door would probably be a little bit more appropriate to a closet. So we're going to go ahead and click on that one and open it. We'll say OK to these. There we go. Now I can click on this. So hit me the space. Click on that, and let's change that door now to your double siding 2-panel. Oh, notice that one's a little bit too big. So we'll have to go in and find another one in there. You guys can play around with that a little bit today. See how we got a minimum length there, so we'll have to find a smaller door. But notice how the door looks. Instead of the swinging door here, you can see if you zoom in how you got the sliding door going back and forth. So we'll have to take and find appropriate door that'll fit in there to make that would be more common to this particular type of drawing. So let's go ahead and hit File, and we're going to save this project. So save as a project file, and toggle to your desktop. So you are going to name this apartment. So type your file name here, apartment, and then hyphen your first initial, your full last name. So I'm just using F last, and that means your first initial, your full last name. I don't want any just BC like my name. I want it to be actually B Curry, Curry spelled out. So you make sure it's your first initial, your full last name. Save that. Then you know the routine. You'll go ahead and you will submit this to me in Google Classroom, and also transfer that file over into your Google Drive so that you've got that saved. So next class or any other time that you need to, you can go ahead and reopen that up, because we're going to make some other changes. You want to see it where it is, just go back to your view cube. Notice right now we have all of these walls up there pretty tall and higher than that. So we can real quick hit and hold your control button. Let's click on all of these walls, and we're going to go now move down here this top constraint where it says unconnected. We're going to go up to level 2, hit apply, and that now makes all of our walls exactly the way they would be, and we have this inside. One other wall one other door we want to place. So let's go ahead and go back here to a 36 by 80, and let's place that somewhere in here, wherever you think would be appropriate. We'll just go right on the center for right now, and that shows you where our front door into our apartment is. Notice I'm still in the drawing tool, so to get out of that you gotta hit escape. Notice my properties is still up over here, so I'm still in it. So this is another one of those areas you gotta escape twice, and we can kind of go through and toggle around into each of these different views so you see what it looks like overall. And that is our floor plan. So now that I've already saved it, all I have to do is go file save, and it's there and I have it. Get that submitted to me. If you still have time now, go ahead and play around with this and get it taken care of. Thanks. Hope you have a great day and a good weekend.